109 Martial arts inscribed on the wall by the 9 profound sect's ancestor. Lin Fei stepped out of the secret chamber and arrived at the underground hall. He saw 3 elders still sitting cross-legged on meditation cushions. "Thank you, 3 seniors." Lin Fei respectfully bowed. Breaking through to the innate realm and the ascending dragon chamber helped him consolidate his realm, saving him months or even a year's worth of hard work. It truly was a great place. One of the elders, with a glint in his eyes, smiled and said, "We provided the ascending dragon chamber, but you had to achieve the innate realm before realizing its benefits. However, calling you out of the ascending dragon chamber isn't due to stinginess. The consumption of the secret chamber in the ascending dragon chamber is massive. For example, the heaven room you were in required us to activate the formation, assist you in cultivation, and provide you with a vast amount of spiritual chi. The consumption for just 1 hour is unimaginable for ordinary people. So, under normal circumstances, after breaking through and consolidating their cultivation in the secret chamber, one must leave immediately. Even high-ranking chi cultivators aren't allowed to enter the secret chambers in the ascending dragon chamber for cultivation at will. They must make significant contributions to the royal family." Lin Fei understood that the ascending dragon chamber was even more valuable than he had imagined. The royal family's kindness to him this time came at no small cost. "3 seniors, can you tell me now why I was allowed to cultivate in this incredibly precious ascending dragon chamber?" Lin Fei was now an innate martial artist. He was on the same level as the 3 royal family elders. He was also entitled to know the reason. One of the elders sighed and slowly said, "Actually, the reason is simple. It's because you're a disciple of the 9 profound sect." "Huh? A 9 profound sect disciple, just for that reason?" Lin Fei found it very strange. There were many 9 profound sect disciples. Thousands upon thousands. The royal family didn't provide help to them. So why did they help Lin Fei? This reason seemed somewhat unconvincing. This has to start with the 9 profound sect's ancestor. After the 9 profound sect's ancestor achieved the Grand Master realm, he was distressed by the lack of a path to build a foundation, so he came to Chan City and sought the royal family. He wanted to obtain the foundation-building secret of Great Chan's founding emperor. Our Great Chan founding emperor established the country with martial arts, and it wasn't just lip service. 900 years have passed, and many people don't know that our Great Chan founding emperor was a martial saint who swept across all directions, invincible, and suppressed all those who defied him. Eventually, he established the Great Chan dynasty. The 9 profound sect's ancestor wanted to know the secret of how our Great Chan founding emperor achieved the martial saint realm. In the end, a foundation establishment cultivator from the royal family spoke up and granted the 9 profound sect's ancestor access. The 9 profound sect's ancestor then entered the royal palace, entered this ascending dragon chamber, and viewed the martial arts secret records left behind by the founding emperor. How astonishing was the talent of the 9 profound sect's ancestor. His martial arts aptitude was no less than that of the founding emperor. The royal family originally had high hopes for the 9 profound sect's ancestor to become the 2nd martial saint of Great Chan. Unfortunately, after the 9 profound sect's ancestor read the martial arts secret records left by the founding emperor, he kept exclaiming, "I don't believe it." Then, the 9 profound sect's ancestor left a martial arts technique in the ascending dragon chamber and left. Later, the 9 profound sect's ancestor found some excuses and destroyed the mountain gates of several immortal sects. Those immortal sects had grievances against our Great Chan royal family, even secretly opposing the royal family. However, the foundation establishment cultivators of the royal family couldn't take action. As a result, the problem was solved by the 9 profound sect's ancestor. We know that the 9 profound sect's ancestor was repaying the royal family's kindness. It's precisely because of this connection that when we learned you were a disciple of the 9 profound sect with outstanding talent, we were willing to establish a good relationship. The three elders recounted the story of that year. It was as if they had witnessed the peerless elegance of the 9 profound sect's ancestor himself. The 9 profound sect's ancestor in his lifetime was not inferior to anyone. Even the Foundation establishment cultivators greatly admired the 9 profound sect's ancestor. But why didn't such a stunning figure as the 9 profound sect's ancestor build a foundation and become a martial saint? It's rather puzzling. However, Lin Fei now had a faint guess. Perhaps it was related to the martial arts secret records left behind by the great Chan founding emperor. This could also be considered part of the royal family's secrets. Lin Fei didn't expect that the great Chan founding emperor was actually a martial saint. With his martial saint realm, he swept across all directions and suppressed everything. He must have also suppressed many Foundation establishment cultivators from various immortal sects. Otherwise, how could he have established the Great Chan dynasty? Saying that Great Chan was established with martial arts was indeed not a mistake. Especially since the founding emperor left behind martial arts secret records. These must be records related to martial arts foundation building. Lin Fei felt a burning desire in his heart. Three elders, I wonder if I could have a look at the martial arts secret records left by the founding emperor. Lin Fei directly asked the three elders. The three elders shook their heads slightly and said, regarding the martial arts secret records, the founding emperor stated that only martial arts grand masters are allowed to view them. Otherwise, no one is permitted to see them. What a pity, how rare are martial arts grand masters in this world. Even though the founding emperor left behind many secret martial arts techniques for the royal family, we, the descendants, have no chance to pursue the path of martial arts. For 900 years, not a single martial arts grand master has emerged from the royal family. Nowadays, the royal family has to rely on Foundation establishment cultivators to barely maintain the balance and suppress the 4 directions. Therefore, Lin Fei, since you have not yet achieved the Grand Master realm, the martial arts secret records left by the founding emperor cannot be shown to you for the time being. Upon saying this, the three elders shook their heads and sighed. With the various resources the royal family can obtain by controlling the world, it still cannot give birth to a martial arts Grand Master. It showed how difficult the path of martial arts is, as difficult as ascending to heaven. Lin Fei understood. The martial arts secret records left by the founding emperor could only be viewed by martial arts Grand Masters. So, once I achieve the Grand Master realm, can I view the martial arts secret records? Of course. The founding emperor left the martial arts secret records in hopes that a second martial saint would be born. By that time, the martial artist who has viewed the martial arts secret records, if they become a martial saint, would naturally owe the royal family a favor. If the royal family faces danger, the martial saint who has read the martial arts secret records would naturally lend a helping hand. This is also a path left by the founding emperor for us, the descendants of the royal family, to form connections with martial arts Grand Masters. If you, Lin, become a Grand Master, you can come to see the martial arts secret records anytime. Lin Fei nodded. The great Chan founding emperor was indeed far-sighted. He took the initiative to leave behind martial arts secret records, generously allowing martial arts Grand Masters to view them. Once they do, the martial arts Grand Masters would undoubtedly owe the royal family a favor. How could they not protect the royal family in the future? So, the royal family was able to maintain its power for 900 years. Thank you, three seniors. I have now reached the innate realm and need martial arts techniques in the innate realm. Therefore, I need to return to the 9 profound sect. If I ever achieve the Grand Master realm, I will definitely come to bother the three seniors again. After saying this, Lin Fei prepared to leave. After all, without innate realm techniques, Lin Fei would be unable to cultivate. He needed to hurry back to the 9 profound sect as soon as possible. Wait a moment. At this point, one of the elders spoke. Lin, my friend, why do you need to return to the 9 profound sect to obtain innate realm techniques? Lin Fei was puzzled. Could it be that these royal elders were given the techniques left behind by the great Chang founding emperor? But that was simply impossible. Those martial arts techniques could only be practiced by members of the royal family. No matter how one looked at it, Lin Fei was not a member of the royal family. Lin, my friend, as I mentioned earlier, after the founder of the Nine Profound Sect viewed the martial arts secret records, he left behind a martial arts technique in the Ascending Dragon Chamber. That martial arts technique is truly profound and indescribable. Moreover, as far as I know, for some reason, the founder of the Nine Profound Sect did not leave this martial arts technique within the sect. Are you interested, Lin? Lin Fei's eyes lit up. A martial arts technique left behind by the founder of the Nine Profound Sect, and it was left behind after viewing the martial arts secret records. At that time, the founder of the Nine Profound Sect had reached the pinnacle of his martial arts cultivation throughout his life. The techniques he left behind must be extraordinary. In that case, I will trouble the three seniors. Of course. So, the three elders immediately stood up. They led Lin Fei toward a distant secret chamber. Our Ascending Dragon Chamber has many secret runes. Back then, the founder of the Nine Profound Sect viewed the martial arts secret records in the Yi rune. He also left this martial arts technique in the Yi rune. Our royal family has completely sealed off the Yi rune and does not open it during normal times. Only innate martial artists are qualified to enter the Yi rune and view the martial arts technique left by the founder of the Nine Profound Sect. As the stone door of the Yi rune opened, Lin Fei entered the Yi rune. Whoosh! At first glance, Lin Fei saw the huge wall in the Yi rune. It was engraved with one large character after another. Even more surprisingly, these large characters were actually emitting an immense martial Dao true intent. Chapter 110. True Intention Scroll. Buzz. Lin Fei's saber intent and fist intent involuntarily burst out. They fatally confronted the martial Dao true intent within the large characters on the wall. Indeed, it's a martial arts technique left by the founder of the Nine Profound Sect. Lin Fei retracted his martial Dao true intent. He was naturally more than familiar with the martial Dao true intent of the founder of the Nine Profound Sect. At Ancestral Master Peak, Lin Fei would hone his fist intent and saber intent daily using the founder's martial Dao true intent. He could feel that the martial Dao true intent in these large characters on the wall was exactly the same as the martial Dao true intent in the steelies at the founder's peak. This martial arts technique is called a True Intention Scroll. It is an innate technique that combines martial Dao true intent with innate true Qi. That is to say, only innate martial artists can cultivate it. Moreover, one must comprehend martial Dao true intent. It's too difficult to comprehend martial Dao true intent right after reaching the innate realm. So, over the years, not a single innate martial artist in the royal family has practiced this martial arts technique. If they wait until they comprehend true intent before attempting to cultivate it, they must first disperse their cultivation. Most innate martial artists are probably unwilling to disperse their cultivation. Therefore, over time, this martial arts technique has been shelved, with no one able to master it. Perhaps this is an innate technique created by the founder of the Nine Profound Sect in a moment of inspiration, but the conditions are too stringent, making it difficult for anyone to meet them. Therefore, the founder of the Nine Profound Sect did not leave this True Intention Scroll martial arts technique within the Nine Profound Sect. Lin Fei nodded. Regardless of why the founder of the Nine Profound Sect created this martial arts technique or why he didn't leave it in the Nine Profound Sect, it was unimportant to Lin Fei. What was important was that he was attracted to this martial arts technique. Upon closer inspection, Lin Fei realized that this martial arts technique was indeed a cultivation method, not a combat technique. Cultivation methods were used for cultivation and realm improvement. All innate martial artists basically absorb the spiritual qi of heaven and earth and then transform it into innate true qi. However, the True Intention Scroll was different. It took an unconventional approach. Although it also transforms the spiritual chi of heaven and earth into innate true chi, the true intention scroll adds an extra step. That was to integrate one's martial Tao true intent. It allowed martial Tao true intent to fuse with innate true chi. Then, the two complement each other. Then, a very unique power would be born, that was the innate true chi containing martial Tao true intent. It might sound a bit convoluted, but this was the essence of the true intention scroll. If innate true chi fused with sword intent, it was called sword chi. If it fused with saber intent, it was called saber chi. The true intention scroll also stated that the stronger the martial Tao true intent fused, the stronger the power produced. Therefore, under normal circumstances, it is fused with sword intent or saber intent. Fusing with fist intent was also possible, but it was slightly inferior. Martial Tao true intent regarded sword intent and saber intent as supreme. This was not just self-praise from swordsmen or saber users but proven in countless real battles. The sword chi or saber chi cultivated with the true intention scroll far surpasses innate true chi in quality. If one could cultivate it all the way to the peak, even reaching grand perfection and achieving the status of a grandmaster, it would be virtually invincible below the foundation establishment realm. Moreover, Lin Fei faintly felt that with the founder of the 9 profound sects' extraordinary talent, creating this cultivation method might not only be for the sake of achieving great power in combat. It might also be related to building the foundation of martial arts and becoming a martial saint. As for being invincible below the foundation establishment realm, the founder of the 9 profound sect did not need this technique to achieve that. The sword chi or saber chi cultivated with the true intention scroll, when combined with a powerful combat martial arts technique, might not only be invincible below the foundation establishment realm but could even surpass it. Lin Fei even felt that the founder of the 9 profound sects' vision might be able to counterkill the foundation establishment cultivators. This was somewhat insane. After all, the foundation establishment was transcendental, a metamorphosis. It was an entirely different level of life. Yet the founder of the 9 profound sect had created a cultivation method that could potentially defy the foundation establishment. From this cultivation method, Lin Fei seemed to understand the founder of the 9 profound sect more clearly. What an unparalleled elegance, dominating the world. True intention scroll, I have decided to give it a try. I'll be cultivating the true intention scroll in the Yirun, which doesn't require the spiritual chi of heaven and earth. So, please, seniors, there's no need to activate the formation, just allow me to practice in the Yirun for some time. Lin Fei respectfully addressed the 3 royal elders. Ha ha ha, this true intention scroll is something only young friend Lin Fei can cultivate. After all, Lin Fei had comprehended martial Tao true intent even in the acquired realm. Lin Fei, rest assured and practice in the Yirun. No one shall disturb you. As long as the formation is not activated, there's no problem with how long he practices. The 3 royal elders agreed readily. Lin Fei had become an innate martial artist. Having comprehended martial Tao true intent, his future prospects were immeasurable. The elders naturally wanted to befriend Lin Fei. They had already formed a good relationship before. Now, they were allowing Lin Fei to cultivate the true intention scroll. It was all to befriend Lin Fei. Lin Fei thanks the 3 seniors. All right, young friend Lin Fei, you practice in the Yirun, and we won't disturb you. Thus, the 3 elders took the initiative to leave the Yirun. Then, the Yirun slowly closed. The 3 elders looked at the closed Yirun with mixed emotions. The true intention scroll, according to the Grand Elder, is extraordinary. Even among all the martial arts left behind by the founding emperor, none could compare to this true intention scroll. Especially its lofty intentions, even a foundation establishment expert would find it difficult to fathom. The founder of the 9 profound sect was truly astonishing. Had he become a martial saint, he might have surpassed the founding emperor. However, the path of martial arts is difficult, as hard as ascending to the sky. It's truly a pity for the founder of the Nine Profound Sect. I wonder, does Lin Fei have the potential to become a martial saint? A glint of sharpness flickered in the eyes of the three elders. However, their good intentions had already been extended. No one could predict how far Lin Fei could go in the future, which would depend on him. At this moment, inside the secret chamber of the Yuron, Lin Fei slowly walked over. He reached out and touched each character on the wall. Images seemed to emerge in Lin Fei's mind as if he had witnessed the founder of the Nine Profound Sect carving these large characters on the wall. These characters were not carved with innate true qi, nor with a saber or sword, and not with a finger, but with sword intent. The founder of the Nine Profound Sect had used pure sword intent to carve these characters. The sword intent at the perfection realm is so formidable that it can inscribe characters on the wall out of thin air. Lin Fei murmured softly. This refreshed his understanding of martial Dao true intent. It seemed that once martial Dao true intent reached perfection, it might undergo some special changes. At least, Lin Fei was sure that transcendent martial Dao true intent would not be able to inscribe characters on the wall. Lin Fei felt along the wall for a while. After sensing the martial Dao true intent of each character, Lin Fei sat down cross-legged. I have basically comprehended the true intention scroll. If I cultivate it, I will definitely choose to integrate saber intent. However, it's not easy to begin cultivating the true intention scroll. It requires some contemplation. Lin Fei muttered softly. How difficult was it to cultivate such a peerless martial art? Even knowing the specific content, it takes a lot of effort to begin. Let's begin. Lin Fei closed his eyes. Following the steps in the true intention scroll, he began to integrate strands of saber intent into his innate true qi. 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours. Lin Fei cultivated for several hours. However, he still couldn't find the way in. Compared to the 3 vitality technique, the true intention scroll was indeed too difficult. The difficulty increased tenfold or even 100-fold. Lin Fei had been attempting for so long, yet he still couldn't begin. Ding, the peerless martial art true intention scroll despises your comprehension and voluntarily becomes your martial art. Your true intention scroll martial art has been waiting in the Yu room for hundreds of years and has finally been fulfilled today by your cultivation. Your true intention scroll martial art is excited, increasing its cultivation speed by 50% and progress by 10%. Your true intention scroll martial art attempts to suppress your saber intent, making it subordinate to the true intention scroll. Your saber intent fights back. Your true intention scroll and your saber intent have begun a tug-of-war. The system's voice rang in Lin Fei's mind again. However, this time, there were more system voices. One after another. Moreover, the content revealed in the system's voice made Lin Fei's eyes widen, showing a strange expression. This peerless martial art was a bit too enthusiastic and proactive. There was actually a martial that stuck to him and begged him to cultivate it. Chapter 111. Saber Qi. This true intention scroll has quite a domineering and self-righteous personality. Lin Fei saw through the personality of the true intention scroll at a glance. Lin Fei was very clear that once martial arts reached him, they all had personalities. Especially the more distinctive martial arts, if he found the right match for their personality and catered to their preferences, the martial arts would advance rapidly. Most martial arts were diligent and conscientious, but the true intention scroll was the complete opposite. Not only did it actively cling to Lin Fei, but it even wanted to suppress Lin Fei's saber intent. Keep in mind that Lin Fei really liked the personality of saber intent. Diligent and conscientious. Tough and not talkative. When needed, saber intent was absolutely powerful. With saber intent, Lin Fei had slain countless formidable enemies. Just as the true intention scroll arrived, it wanted to suppress saber intent. Lin Fei wouldn't agree. Boom. The struggle between the two martial arts was indeed astonishing. At this moment, in Lin Fei's mind, he saw a ray of light resembling a hidden saber. That was Lin Fei's saber intent. Another light group looked like individual characters. Upon closer inspection, they were indeed characters. Each character of the True Intention Scroll combined to form the True Intention Scroll. The characters of the True Intention Scroll flew out one by one, surrounding Saber Intent from all directions. Although Saber Intent kept erupting, the True Intention Scroll seemed to restrain Saber Intent effectively. In the struggle between the two, Saber Intent gradually fell into a disadvantage. Considering the reasons behind the struggle between these two martial arts, it became clear. The True Intention Scroll was originally a martial art formed by the fusion of innate True Qi and martial Dao True Intent. Its intention was to integrate Saber Intent. Therefore, the True Intention Scroll naturally restrained Saber Intent. Lin Fei usually let the struggle between martial arts take its course. But this time, Lin Fei decided not to let it go. The domineering nature of the True Intention Scroll needed to be tamed. Saber Intent must be integrated with the True Intention Scroll. Only then can the True Intention Scroll be cultivated smoothly. However, who should be the dominant one is up for debate. A sharp glint flashed in Lin Fei's eyes. Boon. In the next moment, Lin Fei mobilized his fist intent. Since Saber Intent was no match for the True Intention Scroll, how about adding fist intent? Suddenly, a gigantic fist appeared in Lin Fei's mind, ruthlessly smashing the True Intention Scroll. Bang! The characters of the True Intention Scroll were scattered all over the sky. However, the True Intention Scroll seemed even more infuriated. It split some more characters and surrounded the fist intent. The key was that even with some characters separated, the True Intention Scroll managed to suppress the fist intent. Now, the True Intention Scroll was simultaneously suppressing both fist intent and saber intent. With its personality, the True Intention Scroll would likely become even more arrogant. Innate True Qi, suppress. Lin Fei mobilized his innate True Qi. Immediately, a massive amount of innate True Qi erupted within Lin Fei's body. At the same time, in Lin Fei's mind, a phantom of innate True Qi appeared as well. Majestically, it pressed toward the True Intention Scroll. Bang! Finally, the True Intention Scroll could no longer hold on. It was suppressed by the innate True Qi, fist intent, and saber intent combined. At this moment, the True Intention Scroll seemed to realize Lin Fei's intentions but was utterly helpless. Your True Intention Scroll feels wronged and its cultivation speed is halved. Your True Intention Scroll is suppressed by your Saber Intent and starts to merge. Your Saber Intent triumphs over a strong enemy, feeling invigorated, and cultivates diligently, increasing the cultivation progress of True Intention Scroll by 10% and Saber Intent cultivation progress by 10%. The system's voice echoed in Lin Fei's mind again. Although the True Intention Scroll felt wronged and its cultivation speed was halved, making little progress in cultivation, it didn't matter. After being suppressed by Saber Intent, the True Intention Scroll had to behave. Because now, the True Intention Scroll had fused with innate True Qi and Saber Intent. With Saber Intent as the dominant force, the True Intention Scroll became Saber Intent's little brother. As Saber Intent cultivated diligently, the True Intention Scroll didn't dare to slack off. System. Lin Fei immediately pulled up the system to check his martial arts progress. Host, Lin Fei. Martial Realm, Innate Martial Artist. Master, Early Stage. True Intention Scroll, Early Stage, 20% progress. Saber Intent, Mastery, 21% progress. Fist Intent, Mastery, 45% progress. Leap in Technique, Perfection, 0% progress. Flow in Clothes Skill, Transcendence, 0% progress. Lin Fei's True Intention Scroll had just begun cultivation, yet its progress had already reached 20%. This was truly astonishing. and saber intent, having suppressed the true intention scroll. Seemingly, saber intent had also increased its progress by 10%. Saber intent has merged into the true intention scroll, with saber intent being the dominant force. If the true intention scroll improves, wouldn't it also drive the saber intent to a certain extent? Lin Fei thought to himself. It seemed to be the case. Likewise, the improvement of saber intent should also be able to drive the cultivation progress of the true intention scroll to a certain extent. At this moment, Lin Fei finally understood how profound the true intention scroll created by the founder of the 9 profound sect was. It could even be improved alongside martial Dao true intent. Under normal circumstances, once martial Dao true intent was born, there would be no specific cultivation method. Because martial Dao true intent required tempering, refining, and comprehension. As for following a schedule like acquired cultivation techniques, cultivating every day and then increasing inner power, that would be impossible. Many people's martial Dao true intent might not make any progress for decades. But now, with the true intention scroll, as long as the true intention scroll improved, saber intent could improve as well. In a sense, the true intention scroll is also a method to cultivate martial Dao true intent. As the true intention scroll operated, Lin Fei carefully observed the innate true qi within his body. The original innate true qi was semi-transparent. It was a gaseous substance. But now, with the fusion of saber intent, the innate true qi gradually took on a hint of black. As more and more saber intent merged, the innate true qi completely transformed. In the end, it was entirely converted into a black gaseous substance. Lin Fei stretched out his hand. Go. With a thought, Lin Fei sent the innate true qi flying directly toward the distant wall. Swish. This wisp of Lin Fei's innate true qi directly penetrated the wall and even created a tiny crack in the wall. This was only a strand of innate true qi. Previously, a strand of innate true qi was far from being this powerful. Now, the gaseous substance within my body is no longer innate true qi. It should be called saber qi. Other martial artists absorb the spiritual qi of heaven and earth, transforming it into innate true qi. While I absorb innate true qi, transforming it into saber qi. Saber qi not only contains saber intent but even possesses the sharp and domineering attributes of a saber. It has completely changed innate true qi, creating a brand new power. Lin Fei was shocked. The emergence of saber qi meant that Lin Fei might not even need to use a saber anymore. Because his saber qi was sharper and more domineering than a saber. Moreover, every strike contained saber intent. In the future, opponents would not only have to withstand the sharpness of saber qi but also the attack of saber intent. Especially when dealing with qi condensation stage practitioners. There would be no need to unleash saber intent separately. A single saber qi slash could directly split the spells and magical artifacts of qi cultivators. It would be equivalent to facing a double attack. Particularly since Lin Fei's saber intent had only just reached mastery and the true intention scroll was only in the early stage. If Lin Fei could reach the perfection stage of Grandmaster and his saber intent reached perfection as well, at that time, when Lin Fei unleashed a 100-meter-long saber energy slash, who could possibly withstand it? Chapter 112. Hidden Saber Shattered. Lin Fei withdrew the saber qi. The saber qi inside his body gradually became quiet. He even couldn't feel the true intention scroll refining the spiritual qi of heaven and earth within his body. It seemed as if it had suddenly stopped. At this moment, a system message echoed in Lin Fei's mind. Your true intention scroll was just about to slack off when it was severely beaten by your saber intent. Your true intention scroll is filled with grievances, but under the coercion of your saber intent, it has no choice but to continue cultivating with doubled efforts. As the system message faded away, Lin Fei distinctly felt that the saber qi in his body started moving again. And it was refining the spiritual qi of heaven and earth like crazy. However, the formation in the room hadn't been activated, the spiritual chi was scarce. But time was on his side. Given the level of effort by the saber intent would constantly push the true intention scroll to practice diligently every single moment of the 24 hours each day. In no time, Lin Fei would likely advance from the early master stage to the middle grandmaster stage. Indeed, helping saber intent to suppress the true intention scroll was the right decision. Otherwise, with true intention scroll's domineering, self-righteous, and even lazy nature, its cultivation speed would definitely be much slower than it is now. Lin Fei was very satisfied with the saber intent. As for the true intention scroll, it must be suppressed and driven by the saber intent. Now that the innate cultivation method problem is solved, it's time to solve the issue of combat martial arts. The first thing that came to Lin Fei's mind was the saber drawing technique. After all, the saber drawing technique was Lin Fei's strongest martial art in the acquired realm. Your saber drawing technique, due to the absence of inner power, is in low spirits and cannot nurture the saber. Just as Lin Fei thought about the saber drawing technique, the system's voice echoed in his mind. Apparently, the system wouldn't remind Lin Fei of every message. It would only prompt messages when Lin Fei needed them. Unable to nurture the saber, Lin Fei's brow furrowed slightly. He had thought about this possibility. After all, the saber drawing technique was specifically designed for inner power. Without inner power, how could one nurture the saber? Let's try using saber chi to nurture the saber. Lin Fei had just started to circulate the saber chi. He prepared to follow the meridian circulation of the saber drawing technique to nurture the saber. However, as Lin Fei's saber chi started to circulate, as soon as it touched the hidden saber, crack! The next moment, the hidden saber shattered instantly. Shattered? Lin Fei looked at the broken hidden saber on the ground. It should be known that this hidden saber was a treasured weapon specifically crafted for the saber drawing technique. The material was of very high quality. But now, it was shattered by Lin Fei's saber chi in an instant. This demonstrated the incredible strength of Lin Fei's saber chi. Sure enough, the saber drawing technique is no longer usable. The saber drawing technique requires inner power to nurture the saber. Even drawing the saber requires inner power to circulate through specific meridians, unleashing unparalleled power. But my saber chi is completely different from inner power, even poles apart. Naturally, I can't nurture the saber, let alone use the saber drawing technique. Lin Fei had guessed this outcome. If the saber drawing technique could be executed with saber chi, then the saber drawing technique wouldn't be an acquired martial art. It should be an innate martial art. Lin Fei just felt a bit regretful. The saber drawing technique helped Lin Fei comprehend saber intent. Moreover, it had defeated numerous strong opponents in the acquired realm. Now suddenly it had lost its usefulness. Even the hidden saber was shattered. Lin Fei tried but failed to elevate the saber drawing technique to the innate level. Every innate martial art was the crystallization of wisdom, far surpassing the acquired level. Elevating an acquired level martial art to the innate level was even more difficult than creating a new innate martial art. Let's try the 9 Shadow Saber technique. A thought crossed Lin Fei's mind and he thought of the 9 Shadow Saber technique. So, Lin Fei directly drew the Star Saber. Swish! Lin Fei slashed with the saber. Immediately, the saber light surged. At the same time, 19 saber shadows instantly merged into one. One saber, 19 shadows. The 9 Shadow Saber technique is still usable. After all, the essence of the 9 Shadow Saber technique is actually a martial art at the body refining level. It's merely a saber technique and has nothing to do with the use of inner power or saber chi. However, using the Star Saber to execute the 9 Shadow Saber technique doesn't bring out its full power. I can just use saber chi directly. Lin Fei could now condense saber energy a dozen meters long. It was more than enough to perform the 9 Shadow Saber technique. The only weakness might be the difficulty in sustaining saber chi. After all, Lin Fei was currently only in the early stage of the Master Realm. His saber chi was far from being considered abundant. However, if he reached the middle or even late stages of the Master Realm, his saber chi would be extremely abundant, enough to replace a treasured saber with saber energy. Even now, as long as Lin Fei could finish the battle quickly, there should be no problem using saber energy to replace a treasured saber. Next, Lin Fei tried his hand at fist techniques. The quadruple wave technique could no longer be executed. Or rather, even if it could be executed, it wouldn't have much power. It's impossible to multiply the power by 10 or more times. Dragon Elephant Vajra Fist could still be executed and its power was not bad. In other words, Lin Fei could now only use martial arts at the body refining level. All inner power martial arts could no longer be executed. Or even if executed, they would not have much effect. The same was true for lightness techniques. Of course, this didn't mean that Lin Fei's fist techniques and saber techniques had weakened. That was not the case. Lin Fei now had saber intent and fist intent. As long as he used fist or saber techniques, with the blessing of fist intent and saber intent and the explosive power of saber chi, the power would be many times stronger than in the acquired realm. Now, Lin Fei could casually slash with his saber chi, and he wouldn't even need to use the 9 shadow saber technique. A casual slash with saber chi would be stronger than Lin Fei's saber drawing technique after months, or even a year of nurturing the saber. Innate represented a qualitative transformation. Moreover, Lin Fei cultivated the True Intention Scroll, transforming innate true chi into saber chi. It was almost like a second metamorphosis. Lin Fei tried out his fist techniques, saber techniques, and lightness techniques. None of them were satisfactory and none of them were innate martial arts, nor could they utilize saber chi to maximize its power. It seems that I have to return to the 9 profound sect and select a few more combat martial arts, Lin Fei decided in his heart. Combat martial arts were indeed necessary. High realm and powerful combat martial arts combined make up the true strength of a martial artist. Both aspects were indispensable. However, to return to the 9 profound sect, Lin Fei would inevitably have to leave Chan City. The thread of Yi Mountain Dao still loomed. Given Yi Mountain Dao's influence, there were bound to be spies in Chan City. Once Lin Fei leaves Chan City, Yi Mountain Dao's high-ranking Qi condensation cultivators would most likely take action. Now that I have gotten innate realm, I am dozens of times stronger than before. Moreover, saber chi is more threatening to Qi condensation cultivators than innate true Qi. Even high-ranking Qi condensation cultivators might not be able to withstand my saber Qi. If Yi Mountain Dao's high-ranking Qi condensation cultivators dare to ambush me on the way, I'll let them have a taste of my saber Qi. A hint of killing intent flashed in Lin Fei's eyes. Yi Mountain Dao had provoked him time and time again. Lin Fei would naturally not be polite. Especially now that Lin Fei had advanced to the innate realm. He already possessed strength that was not inferior to any high-ranking Qi condensation cultivator. In fact, Lin Fei could even rival top-tier Qi condensation cultivators. He was even less afraid of Yi Mountain Dao. If Yi Mountain Dao really dared to attack him, Lin Fei wouldn't mind using saber Qi to slay Yi Mountain Dao's high-ranking Qi condensation cultivators. He could even learn from the 9 profound sect's founder that find some random excuses to obliterate the Yi Mountain Dao sect. Chapter 113. Left Chan City. Rumble. The stone door of Yu Room slowly opened. Lin Fei slowly walked out of Yu Room. The 3 royal elders were still sitting cross-legged in the hall. Upon seeing Lin Fei, they immediately noticed the difference that Lin Fei's eyes were filled with a sharp edge. It seemed like just one glance would make them feel a faint sting in their eyes. The 3 royal elders were shocked. Lin Fei, my young friend, it seems you have gained a lot from your retreat in Yiron. The 3 elders had some guesses already. Lin Fei slightly bowed his hand and calmly said, "Thank you, 3 seniors, for giving me this opportunity. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to practice this unparalleled martial art." Indeed, Lin Fei, you are truly a prodigy, having successfully cultivated the extraordinary skill left behind by the 9 profound sects founder. Although they had already guessed, Lin Fei's admission still shocked the 3 elders. After all, the True Intention Scroll had been in Room for hundreds of years. Not a single person from the royal family had been able to successfully cultivate it. But Lin Fei, in just a few hours, had already succeeded. Lin Fei was a disciple of the 9 Profound Sect, and the True Intention Scroll was left by the founder of the 9 Profound Sect. It was too much of a coincidence. Perhaps there was some connection. Of course, Lin Fei wouldn't tell the 3 elders. It was the True Intention Scroll that begged him to cultivate it. Even though he couldn't practice this martial art himself, even starting was difficult, but the True Intention Scroll stuck to Lin Fei and automatically succeeded. 3 seniors, I have now advanced to the innate realm and have cultivated the True Intention Scroll, so I will take my leave. The 3 royal elders nodded their heads. So, Lin Fei turned around and quickly left the palace. When Lin Fei returned to the South King Mansion, it was already getting light. Senior Sister Ling. Lin Fei, you're back. You. Lin Yero had obviously been waiting for Lin Fei for a long time. As a result, Lin Fei had just returned to South King Mansion when Lin Yero found him. Lin Yero's eyes were filled with anticipation. Although she also noticed that there seemed to be some changes in Lin Fei, she couldn't pinpoint the changes. She needed a definite answer. Lin Fei knew what Lin Yero wanted to ask. He smiled slightly. He stretched out his hand and pointed at a flower bed in the distance. Whoosh! Saber energy instantly penetrated the air, crossing a distance of several dozen meters. It struck directly into the flower bed. The flowers and plants in the flower bed seemed to have been cut by the sharp saber edge, leaving a clean slice. Releasing from the body. Innate True Qi. Lin Fei, did you really successfully advance to the innate realm? Lin Yero was overjoyed, her voice trembling with excitement. In any place, innate martial artists were figures who dominate their surroundings. They could be called masters. That was to say, innate martial artists could establish their own sects. Yes, I have advanced to the innate realm. Lin Fei personally confirmed. As for Lin Yero mistaking the saber qi for innate true qi, Lin Fei didn't explain. After all, Lin Yero only needed to know that Lin Fei had advanced to the innate realm, and that was enough. Innate truly advanced to the innate realm. Lin Yero was still somewhat dazed. At this moment, she seemed to remember that she had only known Lin Fei for at most half a year. In less than a year, Lin Fei had made rapid progress all the way, astonishingly achieving the innate realm. It was like a dream. But the facts before her eyes proved that all of this was real. Senior Sister Ling, now that I have advanced to the innate realm, I need to return to the 9 Profound Sect to find innate level martial arts to practice. So, I'm planning to leave Chan City tomorrow. If you need anything, you can send me a letter. Lin Fei also revealed his plan. There was no need to stay in Chan City any longer. He had to return to the 9 Profound Sect. However, Lin Yero frowned and said, Lin Fei, it might be dangerous for you to leave Chan City now. I've been closely monitoring the movements of the He Mountain Dao during this time. Chan City must have spies from He Mountain Dao. I have already investigated some, but I haven't taken any action yet. Once you leave Chan City, He Mountain Dao will definitely know about it at first moment. Then, you'll be in danger. Lin Yero's expression was very serious. He Mountain Dao was an immortal sect. They had high-level qi condensation cultivators and even top-notch ones. Their strength was extraordinary. Lin Fei calmly said, Senior Sister, I can't stay in Chan City forever. Besides, now that I've become innate, how can I be afraid? We, martial artists, should be aggressive and fearless of strong enemies. If we lose our courage and determination to face everything, our martial path will stagnate. He Mountain Dao is indeed a threat, but I am not weak. If their high-level Qi condensation cultivators dare to take action, I'll cut them down. Lin Fei's tone was firm. Clearly, Lin Fei had made up his mind and would not easily change it. Lin Yo opened her mouth to say something, but in the end, she didn't speak. She wanted to persuade Lin Fei that if it were her, she would stay in Chan City for a lifetime rather than take risks. But Lin Fei was not her. Lin Fei still had to pursue the martial path. If Lin Fei truly feared He Mountain Dao and stayed in Chan City forever, his martial path might really be cut off. Fine, I won't try to convince you. Now that you've become innate and also have martial Dao true intent, your strength is indeed enough to contend with high-level Qi condensation cultivators. As long as you're careful, there shouldn't be too much danger. Just don't be careless. He Mountain Dao is a 1,000-year-old immortal sect. Although there are no foundation establishment cultivators in the current generation, He Mountain Dao once had some, and their foundation is deep. So, be cautious about everything. No matter when there's hope as long as you're alive. Ling Yera's expression was sullen, her gaze fixed on Lin Fei. Sister Ling, don't worry, I'll be sure to stay alive. After all, only by living can I continue on the path of martial arts. Tomorrow morning, I will leave Chan City alone. You don't need to see me off, so as not to be discovered by He Mountain Dao spies. All right, I hope you'll be careful, junior brother Lin. With that, Ling Yera left. There was no conversation that night. The next day, as soon as the sky began to brighten, Lin Fei opened his eyes. In fact, now that Lin Fei had advanced to the innate realm, his energy had become even more vigorous. He only needed about 4 hours of deep sleep each day. The rest of the time, he hardly needed to rest at all. Moreover, Lin Fei fatally discovered that once he reached the innate realm, his body seemed to be undergoing some subtle changes at all times. His true intention scroll absorbed the spiritual Qi of the heavens and the earth, transforming it into saber Qi. More than 99% of the saber Qi was stored, but there was still a tiny bit of saber Qi, slowly merging into his body's blood, muscles, and skin. In the long run, Lin Fei's body would undergo tremendous changes. Perhaps the bodies of innate martial artists are slowly metamorphosing. It's just not very noticeable, only when the body has metamorphosed to a certain extent at the innate great perfection stage will it stop. Then they will attempt to build the foundation of martial arts, achieve martial state, and completely transform. Without the changes brought about by innate true Qi during the innate realm, it would probably be impossible to succeed in building the foundation. A flash of insight crossed Lin Fei's mind. Perhaps the reason why many innate martial artists fail to build their foundation was because their bodies haven't been remodeled enough. However, this was just Lin Fei's speculation. There must be many other factors in building the foundation of martial arts. Your martial arts skill, True Intention Scroll, has been practicing diligently all night due to the pressure of saber intent, and its progress has increased by 1%. The system's voice echoed in Lin Fei's mind. In one night, the True Intention Scroll only increased by 1%. That is to say, in a whole day, the progress of the True Intention Scroll's practice may only increase by 2%. But it wasn't this slow when I was in the Ascending Dragon Rune. Perhaps it's because of the spiritual Qi. Lin Fei furrowed his brow. The slow progress of the True Intention Scroll was something he hadn't anticipated. Because, based on his previous experience, when he first started practicing martial arts, he generally made rapid progress. The True Intention Scroll seemed to be lagging behind. The cultivation speed was very slow. Of course, this could not be blamed on the True Intention Scroll. Under the encouragement of saber intent, the True Intention Scroll was definitely putting in its best effort to practice. But the practice results were still unsatisfactory. There might be only one reason. Spiritual Qi. After all, saber Qi was derived from the spiritual Qi of heaven and earth. The biggest difference between innate martial artists and acquired or body-refining martial artists is probably that innate martial artists have requirements for their environment. They need a place with dense spiritual Qi to practice faster. However, this wouldn't pose a problem for Lin Fei. As long as he returned to the Nine Profound Sect, he believed that the spiritual Qi on the mountain of the Nine Profound Sect would be abundant. Moreover, Lin Miao was now at the Nine Profound Sect. At worst, he could ask Lin Miao to set up some formations to gather spiritual Qi. That would certainly be enough for the practice of the True Intention Scroll. After a night's time, the True Intention Scroll could still improve slowly. But Saber Intent didn't seem to be so easy. Even if the True Intention Scroll could drive the practice of Saber Intent, it would only be possible to boost Saber Intent if the True Intention Scroll had a significant increase. Otherwise, Saber Intent would still need to be honed or experienced sudden insight to continue improving. It's time to leave. Lin Fei glanced at South Qin Mansion. Then, without alerting anyone, he rode a fast horse and quickly left Chang City. When Lin Fei left the city gate, he used Princess Lin Yera's token. One of the soldiers guarding the city gazed at Lin Fei's retreating figure, and a strange glint flashed in his eyes. Lin Fei has left Chang City, informed the Immortal Master. He Mountain Dao spies had infiltrated the ranks of the city gate guards. So, no matter when Lin Fei left Chang City, he couldn't escape the eyes of He Mountain Dao. Chapter 114. I have been waiting for a long time. Lin Fei sped up on his horse, which could cover 200 kilometers a day. However, he didn't rush on his journey. Instead, he moved at a leisurely pace as if he was waiting for something. Boom! A thunderclap sounded out of nowhere. Lin Fei looked up at the sky. Unbeknownst to him, dark clouds had gathered in the sky, even the sky had suddenly darkened. Lin Fei looked around. There were mountains on all sides, with only one official road. Looking up the official road towards the mountain, there was a dilapidated temple halfway up the mountain. This is an excellent place to lay low. The sky is getting dark, and there's a heavy downpour. Let's stay here. Lin Fei's eyes were deep, with a profound meaning. He didn't want to continue, and he would wait here. So, Lin Fei led his horse and slowly walked towards the dilapidated temple on the mountainside. Soon, a man and a horse arrived at the dilapidated temple halfway up the mountain. At this moment, the sky was pouring rain. There were candles burning inside the temple. Lin Fei went in and saw about a dozen people inside the temple. There were men and women. The men were dressed as guards. The women seemed to be maids, and there appeared to be a madam and a lady among them. These people didn't look like a merchant group, but they were carrying a lot of things. Large and small packages, it looked like they were moving. Lin Fei didn't pay attention to these people or greet them either. He just found a clean corner, then he sat down cross-legged, closed his eyes to rest, and waited quietly. However, Lin Fei's arrival at the temple aroused the vigilance of the people inside. Madam, this man seems a bit strange. Strange? Judging by his appearance, he should be a wandering traveler, just come into the temple to take shelter from the rain. Yes, just a wandering traveler, Uncle Liu, you don't need to be too nervous. Both the lady and the maid shook their heads. How many wandering travelers had they encountered on this journey? They all dressed like this. It was normal to come to the temple to take shelter from the rain. Uncle Liu, a bearded, burly guard, said sullenly, "Miss, it's pouring rain outside." But look at this man, is there any trace of rain on his clothes or shoes? At this moment, the lady looked carefully at Lin Fei. Indeed, as Uncle Liu said, there was not a single trace of rain on Lin Fei's clothes. In such heavy rain, even with an umbrella and raincoat, it would be impossible to have known what traces on the body. Let me think, when this man came here just now, maybe it wasn't raining outside yet. The lady thought for a moment. It seemed that she couldn't remember whether it was raining when Lin Fei arrived at the temple. Uncle Liu didn't say anything else. He was a guard. All he needed to do was to be secretly vigilant and ensure the safety of the lady and a smooth arrival in Chang City. The rain outside was getting heavier and there were howling winds. The temple was drafty and leaking and rainwater splashed in from all sides. The lady and other women huddled in a corner where there was no rain leakage. It was getting late. The guards and women started eating their dry rations. They stared at Lin Fei for a long time, but they didn't see him eating anything. After hesitating, the lady said to a maid, "This wandering traveler may not have brought any rations. Xiao Wei, give him a portion of our rations. We shouldn't provoke strangers while we are away from home. Especially since this man is quite peculiar, we should avoid him if possible." Guard Liu hurriedly spoke, trying to stop the maid from giving food to Lin Fei. "It's just some rations, it's fine. Xiao Wei, bring the rations to that young man." The lady didn't change her mind. She watched Xiao Wei walk over, then turned to Guard Liu. "Guard Liu, it's true that we shouldn't provoke strangers while we are away from home. But what if this person is, as you say, a remarkable individual? My father sent us to Chang City, saying there might be an evil cultivator targeting us. If there's a remarkable person, maybe they could help us fend off the evil cultivator because of this ration. If he's just an ordinary traveler, it's just some rations, no big deal." Guard Liu's eyes widened and seemed that he understood her point. So, he nodded, "You're quite thoughtful." However, when Xiao Wei brought the rations to Lin Fei, he didn't even open his eyes. There was no response. Xiao Wei had no choice but to put down the rations and report back. "Miss," he didn't respond, the maid said. "We should be cautious about everything when we are away from home. Maybe he's worried that there's something wrong with the rations. But we've already given them to him, whether he eats them or not is up to him." The lady didn't insist. The rain outside was getting heavier. Boom! A thunderclap shook the sky. Accompanied by lightning, a figure seemed to appear faintly outside the temple. "Who's out there?" Guard Liu immediately stood up. Everyone was startled. Hee, you guys ran away pretty fast. Zhu Yuan is quite vigilant, sending his family to Chang City. If you had really made it to Chang City, I wouldn't dare to attack you there, that would indeed be troublesome. But this heavy rain came just in time to trap you here." From outside the temple, a sharp, piercing voice gradually approached. Following that, everyone saw a black-robed Taoist, step by step, walking into the temple from the outside. Moreover, this Taoist seemed unaffected by the pouring rain. There seemed to be a layer of white light around him, keeping the rainwater away from his body. After entering the temple, there was not even a trace of rainwater on him. Seeing this scene, the guards and women turned pale. Guard Li's voice trembled as he shouted, "Chi cultivator, you're an evil Chi cultivator." Whoosh! Guard Liu drew his saber. However, holding the sharp saber in his hand didn't make him feel safe at all. He was just a mere acquired martial artist. What chance did he have against a Chi cultivator? Mere martial artist. The black-robed Taoist flicked his finger. A flash of blood-red light appeared in an instant. In the next moment, the guard Liu widened his eyes. An unknown wound appeared on his neck and blood spurted out instantly. With a thud, guard Liu fell to the ground. None could see how the black-robed Taoist attacked. "Ah!" The women in the temple screamed in fear. However, the numerous guards didn't dare to approach the black-robed Taoist. Hee, capturing you will surely make Zhu Yuan reconsider. Will he choose the magical artifact or his family? Being a mere mortal, keeping the magical artifact he accidentally obtained will only bring disaster. The black-robed Taoist sneered, ready to make his move. At this moment, everyone's eyes turned to Lin Fei. However, Lin Fei remained motionless. Disappointment filled their hearts. Mother, it seems we cannot escape this fate. Who knows what torture we'll endure at the hands of this demonic Taoist? Mother, I'll go first. She fiercely pulled out a dagger she carried with her, preparing to end her life. Boom. At that moment, thunder and lightning flashed outside. The black-robed Taoist seemed to sense something. Whoosh! He abruptly turned his head, looking towards the broken temple's entrance. Who? The black-robed Taoist stared intently at the temple's exterior. Now, two more figures appeared outside the broken temple. Two grey-robed Taoists stood midair outside the temple. Step by step, they seemed to float into the temple. The black-robed Taoist became extremely cautious, speaking in a deep voice, "Have you two also come for Zhu Yuan's family? Unfortunately, they've already fallen into my hands. You two should just leave." The black-robed Taoist carefully pondered. The news of Zhu Yuan accidentally obtaining a magical artifact hadn't spread, and he had only found out by chance. If it weren't for the difficulty of making a move in Chan City, would he have gone through all this trouble to capture Zhu Yuan's family? Now that he had captured Zhu Yuan's family, the black-robed Taoist had no intention of giving up. However, the two grey-robed Taoists didn't respond. Instead, they glanced at the black-robed Taoist. Then, one of the grey-robed Taoists extended his hand, pointing at the black-robed Taoist. "Road cultivators like you are definitely demonic beings, deserving death. You." The black-robed Taoist's face changed dramatically. His spiritual power surged, ready to cast a spell, but it was too late. Splash! The next moment, the black-robed Taoist's eyes widened, his body trembling. Then, his corpse fell straight to the ground. Dead. He couldn't even withstand a single attack. The guards and women became even more desperate. The black-robed Taoist was already powerful. Now, two stronger grey-robed Taoists had arrived. What hope did they have? However, the two grey-robed Taoists didn't even glance at the guards and women. Instead, they slightly bowed to the corner of the temple, saying, "He Mountain Dao's He Yuanzi and He Chinza pay respect to Layman Lin." The lady and the women in the temple were taken aback. They looked at Lin Fei in the distance with surprise. These two Taoists aren't here for us. Regardless of what the women and guards thought, the grey-robed Taoist's gazes were fixed on Lin Fei. Lin Fei opened his eyes and looked at the two Taoists with a calm gaze. "You're too slow, I've been waiting for a long time." Chapter 115. High-level Qi condensation cultivators. Millimeter. He Yuanzi and He Qingza's eyes slightly narrowed. Layman Lin knew we were coming, yet he calmly stayed here. It seems Layman Lin is quite confident. Originally, we didn't mind the insignificant disciple you killed, as you have the princess and 9 profound sect on your side. He Mountain Dao didn't care. But He Yuanzi you shouldn't have killed. He Yuanzi was the future hope of our He Mountain Dao. Now, our sect leader is furious. So, we have to use Layman Lin's head to pay tribute to He Yuanzi. The two Taoists spoke of murder, yet their tone was nonchalant as if it was merely an ordinary matter, not taking it to heart at all. Using my head to pay tribute to He Yuanzi. Well said. If I were the He Mountain Dao sect leader, I would do the same. However, there's one point you may have overlooked. Can you actually kill me? The next moment, Lin Fei slowly stood up. At the same time, the saber intent within him exploded instantly. Boom. Lin Fei's saber intent erupted. To ordinary people, they wouldn't be able to sense the saber intent. But they could feel Lin Fei transforming into a supreme treasure saber, suddenly revealing his sharpness, imposingly aggressive. Hum. The next moment, the sabers in the guards' hands began to hum softly as if they wanted to unsheath themselves. What's going on? My saber seems to want to unsheath itself. What kind of spell is this? These guards were utterly astonished. They didn't know what was happening. No, it's not a spell, it's not a spell at all. If I'm not mistaken, this is Saber Intent. The legendary martial Dao true intent that only martial artists can cultivate. Unexpectedly, this man has actually cultivated martial Dao true intent, even daring to confront two Qi cultivators. It's unbelievable. Speaking was her face full of disbelief. Although she hadn't practiced martial arts, she had been well educated since childhood and she was quite interested in martial arts. Therefore, she had read many martial arts secrets and she knew some secrets of martial arts. Lin Fei's display of saber intent at this moment caused the sabers of the many guards to hum loudly as if they couldn't control their sabers. This was characteristic of saber intent. In front of a martial artist who comprehended saber intent, drawing a saber was a luxury. At this moment, in the eyes of He Yuanzi and He Qingzi, a phantom great saber appeared above Lin Fei's head. That was the saber intent. Lin Fei didn't display his fist intent. He knew that in terms of lethality, fist intent was ultimately inferior to saber intent. Facing high-level Qi condensation cultivators, Lin Fei still respected his opponents. Not underestimating them in the slightest, he fully unleashed his saber intent. What a saber intent! A glint flashed in He Yuanzi's eyes. At the same time, He Yuanzi and He Qingzi both displayed their magical artifacts, protecting themselves by their side. Slash! Lin Fei's saber intent fiercely slashed down. Boom! He Yuanzi and He Qingzi felt their minds shake. Their willpower was quite strong. Moreover, they didn't have any mental flaws. But even so, they felt as if their minds were being torn apart by a raging storm and painful to the extreme. Saber intent wasn't that easy to endure. Even if they could withstand it, it would still be very painful. However, He Yuanzi and He Qingzi eventually resisted Lin Fei's saber intent. He Yuanzi's face was a bit pale and he smiled coldly. Do you know the difference between high-level Qi condensation cultivators and low-level ones? The biggest difference is actually the spiritual power within their bodies. When a Qi condensation cultivator reaches the 7th level, their spiritual power can circulate autonomously. Even if their consciousness stops, their spiritual power can still circulate. That is to say, no matter how strong your saber intent is, as long as it doesn't kill us in an instant, you can't break through our magical artifact defense. Our spiritual power will keep circulating without any pause. Acquired martial artists may be able to kill low-level Qi condensation cultivators by relying on some tactics or luck. But acquired martial artists will never be able to kill high-level Qi condensation cultivators. He Yuanzi and He Qingzi resisted Lin Fei's saber intent. In their opinion, Lin Fei had no hope left. He was undoubtedly going to die. Because no matter what, Lin Fei, an acquired martial artist, couldn't break through their magical artifact defense. This was the advantage of high-level Qi condensation cultivators. High-level Qi condensation cultivators. Lin Fei calmly looked at He Yuanzi and He Qingzi. The opponents were high-level Qi condensation cultivators. Indeed, they were somewhat different from He Yuanzi. Although He Yuanzi was at the 6th level of Qi condensation, when he encountered Lin Fei, his consciousness was heavily damaged by the saber intent. He Yuanzi's spiritual power stopped for a moment. Then Lin Fei found an opportunity and killed him with a single saber strike. But facing high-level Qi condensation cultivators, Lin Fei couldn't find any opening anymore. When martial artists versus high-level Qi condensation cultivators, there was only one way to defeat them. That was to fight them head-on, breaking the high-level Qi condensation cultivators' magical artifacts or spells. Lin Fei suddenly withdrew his saber intent. He no longer used his saber intent. Apparently, his current Mastery Realm saber intent only had a few effects on high-level Qi condensation cultivators. As for directly killing with saber intent, Lin Fei's saber intent hadn't reached that level yet. Have you given up? An acquired realm cultivator who can comprehend saber intent, your talent probably rivals that of the founder of the Nine Profound Sect. But unfortunately, you are still mortal. How can a mortal body fight against us chi condensation cultivators? He Yuanzi stepped towards Lin Fei, one step at a time. Beside He Yuanzi, a small sword floated. It was not a talisman but a real magical artifact flying sword. High-level chi condensation cultivators could use it to kill from a distance. Even innate martial artists were extremely wary of flying swords. The flying sword emitted a chilling and sharp aura. As long as He Yuanzi had a thought, he could instantly pierce Lin Fei's head. Whoosh! A soft sound. It wasn't He Yuanzi who used the flying sword, but Lin Fei. Lin Fei surprisingly didn't retreat but advanced, even rushing towards He Yuanzi. The so-called bravery of a martial artist is nothing more than a futile struggle before death. He Yuanzi shook his head slightly. Go. He Yuanzi had a thought. Immediately, the flying sword turned into a flash of white light. It instantly flew towards Lin Fei. At this moment, Lin Fei was only dozens of meters away from He Yuanzi, but this short distance seemed like an insurmountable chasm. He Yuanzi seemed to be able to see the look of despair and fear on Lin Fei's face at the end. The flying sword arrived in an instant. Not only was the flying sword in Lin Fei's line of sight, but also He Yuanzi, who was dozens of meters away. Suddenly, Lin Fei stopped. At this distance, Lin Fei felt it was about right. The next moment, Lin Fei extended his fair right hand. He didn't draw his saber. Instead, he lifted his hand. Slash! Lin Fei let out a low shout. His hand slashed fiercely through the air, aimed at He Yuanzi.